are making a series of movies about blockchain, which is called Future is Now.
Yes.
So why do you think we need movies about blockchain?
Well, so I come from Hollywood. I finished film school, UCLA, and I've been in the documentary filmmaking space for quite some time, for about 10 years. I've also been in the journalism profession, if you may call it that, as well. And what I've found with the fintech space, as I've been a part of it before, I've worked in startups. I've done a visual branding for startups back in 2011. Like Groupon, stuff that was fairly new at the time, but it wasn't the new internet. This is the new internet, and it's facing the same issues that internet faced in 1995, where, for example, Newsweek, one of the biggest then media publications, said in 95 that this is the internet is never going to replicate a media agency like Newsweek online. Well, 10 years down the line, Newsweek's print edition is out of print. It's already for 10 years at least. The internet has 4 billion people. Newsweek was saying, security issues, credit cards will never be on the internet. The security systems fixed that. People said no one will find anyone. Facebook fixed that. People said, and no one will be able to know anything. Google fixed that. So look at us now. The internet has revolutionized the planet. This is on the same par. So as a filmmaker, I thought that in order to break the fear of the masses towards this technology, I feel that there must be mass adoption led through cinema. I think cinema is something we all relate to. It's emotions, it's feelings, it's how people connect with one another. And as a filmmaker, I feel that the best way to help the masses understand what this is and how revolutionary this is to use cinema, to use emotions and feelings to acquaint the masses with the space.
So one of the episodes is going to be about today's conference, right?
Yes, our first episode in Armenia. I've been to Armenia before, not with The Future Is Now. I was working for a centralized institution before, and I witnessed that wonderful 3-day Armenian wedding with the coming of Pashinyan. That was the most peaceful revolution ever. And it was quite amazing to see that sort of transformation. So I think Armenian people have really taught the world a lot in their time. They have the biggest diaspora spread all over the planet. They've built amazing stuff, like Glendale, for example, in Los Angeles, which is where I'm from, not from Glendale, but not too far. And that shows you something. So I think the Armenian Blockchain Association, NEWS, bringing together the people and the Armenian diaspora from overseas back to the center point, Yerevan, and creating something that might, unite the influence of the Armenian blockchain community. I think that's wonderful.
So can we say this episode and this movie will help to develop the blockchain technology in Armenia even further?
I certainly hope so. I mean, that's what we do at these conferences. We essentially, we create visual pieces that can help spread the message. And, we do it in a sincere way. If it's not always, good and dandy, we're objective. We cover everything. From the bad to the middle to the good. And, of course, this community, not this one in particular, but overall, the blockchain community has a lot of, cockroaches that have crawled underneath the log. As with any new technology, there will be opportunists, there will be people who will be trying to make a quick buck and not necessarily provide a use case, not really provide a technology, not really provide a solution. So, we speak to these people as well to see how they're evolving, because my personal take on this is that this is evolution of business. This is the evolution of doing business, of creating value, of sharing value, of empowering each other, and of creating something that could be beneficial to all. Essentially banking the world, banking the unbanked, and taking in, including the people into this new financial sphere. Everyone has an opportunity to download a Bitcoin wallet and enter the economy.
In your opinion, which is the best thing about Bitcoin, and which is the best thing you want to show in your movies?
Well, the best thing about Bitcoin is probably that it is truly decentralized, and it is a inflation-less currency. There's only a certain amount of it out there, and there isn't going to be more. Unlike, for example, the US dollar, which you could print however much you want and cause inflation and cause these financial crises that we've seen both in America and really all over the world. And that is why I feel that crypto, and Bitcoin in particular, as the mothership of it all, with its decentralized, like a virus almost, but a good virus, right? A virus that's been created and spread to actually do good, right? Of course, people can use it for the bad as well. Again, you give someone a hammer, they can knock and build a house with it, or they can kill someone. You can't really control that yet. And of course, regulation has to happen. But the best thing still is the anonymity, the immutability, and the decentralization of Bitcoin. And what I want to show, I think, in my film is probably that. It's the idea that you have a new way to create value, to share value, to generate value, to exchange value, and all of that.
And which is the worst thing, which is the most serious problem about Bitcoin today?
Probably the fact that Wall Street, the same sort of wolves of Wall Street that have been manipulating the stock market, that have been really manipulating things politically even to influence certain economical outcomes, have entered this market of crypto and are doing the same thing, essentially. They're manipulating the market with these quick, 700 down in price, 1,000 up in price, where they short, they long, they know when, right? While a lot of people that are in this sort of casino, because it is a casino to some extent, suffer. So as Bitcoin develops further, and it has some of the smartest minds working on it, that is for sure, as Bitcoin develops further, I feel that it will, its value is going to stabilize with its price. And the volatility is going to cease to exist once we get the Googles, the Amazons of crypto established. So the once we get that, like I said earlier, Newsweek, internet was called, unsecure, can't find anyone, can't find anything. These centralized power sources came, Facebook, Google, right? The credit system, but they're centralized. That's the problem. So now the question is, how do we take the locus of control and give it to the individual, to the community level, where people actually have a say in what they use and how that information is then, their information is stored or used, and vice versa.
How many episodes are you going to film for the Future Is Now documentary?
So we have filmed already 9 episodes. One of them is still in post-production. This one would be the 10th, and that would be released within a month. Now, the idea, though, is to create one film that we are already taking to major distributors like Hulu, like Amazon, potentially Netflix. We're talking to a few. And the idea is to actually get the distributor, the proper distribution for this creative work of art, really, to, again, spread awareness, educate, show people what is being done in this market from the inside out.